bring in Joe Biagini of the Toronto Blue Jays. Joe, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you very much, and howdy.
How are you?
I'm all right.
All right. Let me ask you, never mind the baseball. What'd you do in your off day in New York?
Well, that's a very appropriate question. It was a lovely off day. I got to hang out with a cute girl that I like,
Awesome.
and who lives here. And
Oh, really?
That was one of the highlights of my season so far. Besides all of the
Yeah. We'll do the baseball stuff later. Don't worry about that.
yeah, no, that comes second always.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, no, you know what? Smart man, I'll tell you. I mean, if you're gonna go out with the girl, have her in New York because it's a great place to visit.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no point in having a girlfriend in like Milwaukee or any of those places. Who the hell wants to go to Milwaukee? All right, so we're talking dinner in New York.
Dinner.
Not you and me, but you and her.
Show.
A Broadway show. Which show?
We went to American Psycho. It was a very charged performance.
Yes.
But I enjoyed it. It was entertaining, and
good stuff.
It was the Monday, so we didn't have a lot of options, but I was glad that worked out. It was pretty cool.
Excellent. Let me, all kidding aside, I love asking guys this when they first come up to the majors and get a taste of the majors.
Let's get serious.
No, not get serious. I don't want to do this. We got plenty of time. Barker's got a serious question. What is the coolest thing? Seriously, what is the coolest thing about being a major leaguer? Honestly.
I would say the pants.
Okay. Why the pants?
The pants. Because in the minor leagues, I think, like, notoriously, you go through the seasons and different teams, and there's always pants that are just, I don't know. I'm not saying that the quality's bad at any organization. I'm not talking about any specific thing, but
we're talking about hand-me-downs.
Yeah, you always kind of struggle to find, there's not as many resources as, as to be expected. And so you always struggle to find, pants that fit correctly. And I just remember, getting to, in spring training they did every year, but during the season, I remember getting to the season, they had like 12 pairs of pants for me. And I was like, this is an embarrassment of riches, and they're comfortable and they're long enough and they're, and I don't know, I think I look cute in them. So, that's one of them. Also, the chartered flights are pretty cool. It's pretty efficient getting from place to place, and it definitely beats the heck out of, bus rides and trying to, pretzel yourself into a comfortable position to, try to get some sleep.
It's interesting because,
more than that, I think just my teammates, just being around these guys that are so good and and having, seen them play for years before and just kind of getting to learn from the coaches and the, and the staff and the, throwing to these catchers and having this defense behind you and watching them hit and everything. It's just, obviously that's a pretty good perk of the gig.
Joe, you've become, and we talked about this a little earlier. I think it's safe to say that you and Roberto Osuna and maybe Gavin Floyd, you're kind of the guys in the bullpen that John Gibbons trusts right now. And it is a bullpen in flux. What's the mood like down there? Because, the team's not scoring a lot of runs. A lot of attention early was on the bullpen. Quite frankly, it was probably unfair because the team just wasn't scoring a lot of runs. What's the mood like down there right now?
Well, I think that it's, we have a lot of expectations on ourselves. Now, obviously, I haven't been on this team for a long time, but I do understand kind of the culture of, what our beliefs are about ourselves. I've, spent a lot of time listening to some of the older guys like Storin and Gavin Floyd and Chavez and really everybody's had kind of a constant, communication about just kind of what we're about, who we are, what we need to do to be successful, how to, best put the team in positions to succeed. And, we also talk about butterflies and flowers and stuff sometimes just to keep us sane. Some of my favorite topics. But the guys have really, stressed, just how long of a season it is and how, we're good enough. We belong there. We can trust our skills. And I think when we do that, most fully, I think that's when we succeed. And, we know how talented this team is, and we know, we can see it. We've seen them perform before. They definitely have at times this season, and we fully expect that to be, kind of getting into gear, sooner than
Hmm.
later. But honestly, when you think about the situations of the games that have been happening recently, the guys have been helping me and some of the other younger guys kind of understand that, we don't have to put any pressure on ourselves.
Hmm.
That can be done outside, but for us, that's not a burden that we have to give ourselves.
Who's the best conversationalist in the bullpen? Got your go-to guy for conversation about butterflies, flowers, whatever.
Um, sometimes I lock myself in the bathroom and talk to myself in the mirror. That's a pretty good conversation. But
Well, at least you
other
get to
than
talk to
that,
someone you love. That's the way I look at it.
oh, of course. Um, I don't know. Everybody kind of adds a different little flair. I don't know. Been talking to Venditti since he's been here a lot. Gavin Floyd has kind of been like a mentorish type for me. We talk about, God and life and existential questions, and and then how to throw a, sinker on the outside corner or
Hmm.
anywhere. Um, Storen's got a good sense of humor. I like listening to him. He's got some good, these guys. Really, what it is me kind of tugging on their, or tapping them on the shoulder and say, "Tell me another story from like when you were back in, whatever
Right.
season." And they say, "Okay, I got one for you." So it's kind of stuff like that. It's just a nice group of guys. As soon as funny, and he's, and it's fun to see him get locked in when he's warming up.